Uber feels transient to me because it feels like Uber is solving a problem that itself is being antiquated by the emergence of autonomous vehicles. While it's clear that the car services, the taxi services of metropolitan areas themselves were fixed in a century past, it's also apparent, at least in my eyes, that Uber represents a remarkable efficiency brought to the driver in terms of the securing of the passenger. But the problem is autonomous vehicles supplant the need for that efficiency. And to Via is similar in many ways to Uber, though much smaller and operating in only a few metropolises right now, though I'm sure there are other Via-like services. I'm just particularly familiar with this implementation. What Via does is algorithmically routes cars so that cars can pick up multiple passengers, in a sense making the car a micro metro, a micro subway. Now what's really cool about that is the optimization, the algorithmic optimization of embarking and disembarking passengers compressed into vehicles with the convenience of near efficiency of the private car. You ask for it, it basically comes to you, you tell it where you want to go, and it drops you. That's not what a metro can produce. It also is elastic. You can add or decrease capacity at will in metropolitan areas. That's fantastic. It's a modern interpretation of public transport. Uber is a retrofit on a model that is necessitated by the failures of public transport. So to me, Via, and likely many others like Via, represent what autonomous vehicles can bring to the urban setting to unshackle us from the inefficiencies of transport. And those inefficiencies are non-trivial. When you consider most people squander an hour or maybe even two a day simply in the motion between home and office and back again. That's absurd. Look at the amount of money and the poor fit of that money to solution that's invested in public transport. And look at the latencies of public transport. Building out a subway system is nearly impossible today. And certainly the modernization of a subway system can be a decades-long process, costing, billions upon tens of billions of dollars. That's not practicable. And as urban densities alter at an alarming rate, as densities diffuse, densities increase, as people become progressively dynamic, it's essential that the transport models optimize as well. Uber doesn't do that. Via does. And I think when we look at what public transport can become in the age of autonomous vehicles, how it can free us from the extraordinary inefficiencies in cost and time squandered, Via is a glimpse of perhaps what is 5 or 7 years away, which is the public transport as a grid of autonomous vehicles. And while most folks are keenly aware that's coming, it's the fact that it's here in prototype form with Via, and you can use it today and see practically the efficiency it brings, and that, to me, is entirely cool. Now, it does impose problems. We're all cognizant as well that there is a corrosive nature to autonomy, and that vehicles will no longer need the professional driver, and that displaces a lot of workers, and that's a significant problem that needs substantial cognitive effort to resolve in a humane manner. But there's something utterly inhumane about the current forms of transit, and there's something quite humane about what is likely to come and make the daily grind just a tad bit less of a grind.